There we go. Hey, welcome to Pat Soundbytes Unplugged podcast, keeping new music alive on the radio, on the video, and man, what a great show today. I not only got one superstar, but now I got two. Man, this guy, he's a singer, he's a songwriter, he's a founding member, lead guitarist of the legendary band Tesla. He's a podcaster, he's a music mentor, he's a producer, he's an animal lover, he's a brew. Look, I got the Frank Hannon heavy metal hippie.
That's enough about me there, Patrick.
He's an incredible human being and a wonderful friend. My man, Mr. Frank Hannon, in the house in Florida with Patrick in the house. How are you, brother?
Patrick, the road dog, man.
I like that.
Rich's story right here.
I like that. He just happened to come over to the farm and heard you were recording and feeding the horses and said, I want part of this action.
Well, no, the story is that the animal control in my area had been trying to catch him for a couple weeks. They heard of him from a homeless person had given him away at the grocery store, and he had been on the run. And when he came into my yard, he was covered in mud and skinny and scared. And I noticed him out there, and I was like, what are you doing, little fella? And I just started sweet talking him, and I went and got a hot dog out of the refrigerator, and that did the trick. I broke it up into little bite sizes and kept tossing it to him and talking to him. And about 3 hours later, he was in my lap, like you see, like right now.
I love it. And I saw him at the airport. I know, like you said, you just did a couple of shows in Michigan, and he looked pretty cool.
I took him to the vet, and he found out that he did not have a microchip, which he does now. He did not have one. And so anyway, he's got a clean bill of health. And yes, he flew to Green Bay with me. I didn't want to leave him alone because we're really bonded, and I didn't want him to be scared anymore. You know what I mean?
Good for you, Frank, man. I love you for doing what you do, man. What a beautiful Jack Russell dog, and a great name. I mean, come on, buddy. Come on.
He's got the, yeah, I found him on St. Patrick's Day. See, so.
Oh, there you go.
My yard on St. Patrick's Day, and Patrick is a perfect name. And I know another guy named Patrick who's pretty darn cool too. How you been, man? What you been up to?
Dude, it's rocking new music is what I've been doing. I mean, it's nonstop, buddy, and it's all great new music, as you know. Your guys Red Voodoo and JT Lutz and Austin Moe, and last night I got to hang out with Dirty Honey and Wolfgang Van Halen down in the Big Apple, and new music is rocking and rolling, and that just keeps me smiling, and I'm able to support new music. And speaking of new single right behind me, Cold Blue Steel, my goodness, Frank, and thank you for the clean version, so I'm able to play it, and it's been great feedback. And I feel this. I'm a lyric guy, Frank, as you know. So when I read and when I hear, I can't believe the bullshit today. Too many lives being taken away. I think of COVID. I think it's relevant today, and I think every politician should hear this song. Talk to me about Cold Blue Steel. Am I onto something here?
Well, yeah. This song is already got a little bit of a storied past. There's a lyric video that has all the lyrics of the song that I just produced a lyric video that is based over a performance video that we shot last August. And we originally wanted to release the song last August when we were going on tour, but that was when we all contracted COVID and got really sick. And in fact, in that video, we are all sick and we didn't even know it yet,
Wow.
But the lyrics are spelled out in that video, so you can read between the lines and read into it. At first glance, obviously, Cold Blue Steel, and the inspiration was Saturday Night Special by Leonard Skinner. About guns is obviously the first interpretation of it. But the depth of the song, what's to blame, let's get real, evil intentions refuse to respect. It's really about, the evil in the world, and the evil that pulls the trigger, or the evil that is. I'm going to let Patrick down here because he needs to go here. Bye, Patrick.
All right, Patrick.
He's gonna go in there and get some munchies. The song is about that. Sort of similar to our song "Modern Day Cowboy." How even in the '80s when we wrote that song, the USA, the USSR, with their six guns by their side, that it's the same old shit, man. Can I say shit on this show?
You just did, and I don't have a problem with that at all.
Okay, so yeah, it's unfortunately, the human condition is still suffering from people with bad intentions, and that's basically the theme of what Modern Day Cowboy was about. And here we are, almost 40 years later, and we're still dealing with USA and USSR with their six guns by their sides, and cold blue steel. It's not the tank that freaking blows up the building. It's the person pushing the buttons behind it, and up in higher offices or wherever they are.
I think
what that song's about.
I think every politician needs to hear it, and I know there's the reference as you mentioned Saturday Night Special and Skinner. Just like Ronnie, I do agree. Why don't we dump them to the bottom of the sea? Who would ever think that we're watching live people getting killed in Ukraine over just whatever? It just drives me insane. I pray for the people, and I just pray for world peace, Frank. Just like I'm sure you do. It's just ridiculous.
And yeah, who would have thought we would have seen Will Smith slap a comedian on live TV? You know what I mean? It's a shame, man, that human beings have not been able to evolve past ego and anger and issues,
No, I hear you, pal. It's a great track. It's getting great feedback. As I said, it's very edgy. I like the
hook. I wasn't trying to diminish what you were talking about in the Ukraine. I was just actually talking about how from one small unimportant thing like the Oscars to some world catastrophic event like the Ukraine and the war over there, or the wars we've had for centuries. It comes down to the root of ego and evil in the world. It needs to change anyway.
No,
onward. Let's change the subject, buddy.
Frank, I
just
hear
woke
you.
up from a nap, everyone. I hope you guys forgive my. I've
You
been
look
on the road, and I'm here in peaceful Florida here for a little R&R. I just took a nap, so I'm kind of still in a dream state.
You look great, and I love the track. It's got a great edge to it. It's got a great hook. You do a great job with the guitar riff, you and Dave. I love Brian's bass. I mean, the whole track is terrific. Tesla. So, is there a plan, Frank, if I can ask, releasing singles, maybe an EP or an album down the road to follow Cold Blue Steel?
Well, yeah, and I've been getting asked this question a lot. Where we are right now as a band, naturally, the process of writing songs and making sure the songs are up to our standards of what we feel is real, rather than fabricating a bunch of them all at once to create an album by a certain deadline, we would rather just focus on writing one song at a time and putting energy into that song. And that's a new approach for us because, we've always been under the guise of completing an album by a certain deadline. And sometimes the albums will suffer. Some of the songs will suffer because you're in that mindset of getting it done versus giving the songs the attention, Now, so with that being said, and with the fact that this cell phone that I'm holding right here and everyone in the world is listening to their music this way, we're feeling like we're just going to write and record a song and put it out when it's ready. And then probably, in a few months or at the end of the year or who knows when, it'll be put together on an album, sort of like what the Beatles did in the beginning when they would put out Help or Good Day Sunshine or whatever they would do. They would put out these songs and then they would end up on an album at
Yeah,
the end of the day.
yeah, it's a great plan. There's no reason. And why rush it? Look, the content, it's all about the songs. So good for you. Take your time, no rush. The Tesla fans will always be there. They have been for 40 years, like myself, and we look forward to it. I agree with you. Why put out
Well,
something
thanks,
that you
man. We've already got a set list full of songs already. It's hard in our show to decide what songs we're going to play and what songs we're not going to play. And so our set list right now consists of songs like What You Give and Love Song and The Way It Is. And we're talking about bringing Hang Tough back into it.
Oh,
Modern
nice.
Day Cowboy, Getting Better, Lazy Days, Crazy Nights, Heaven's Trail. So the set list is already full. So now we got Cold Blue Steel in there as a new song. The next new song we're working on, it's almost done. And that'll go in Cold Blue Steel's place, but it's got to stand up to the rest of the set list, you know? So it's important to us just right now, just to write a great song as it comes. And it seems to be more the natural progression for a band of our age.
I
Look
hear
at
you.
man, see this white hair?
Hey, I used to have jet black, Frank. What are you kidding me?
I
Was
know,
it like?
but hey,
Go ahead, pal.
huh?
No, I was going to
What'd you
ask you,
say?
what was it like to get back on stage for the first time after this whole COVID thing? I know you guys got it, I want to say August, September or so. And I mean, to finally get back on stage and feel the energy from the audience, it's got to be like, I know I missed live shows for a year and a half. I'm pulling my hair out of my head.
Yeah, that whole past 2 years was a really tough time for everyone, and more importantly than not being able to do shows, but people that didn't make it and actually passed away. You know, we lost a lot of friends the past year. A lot of them to COVID and a lot of them to other things. You know, it really put things into perspective, Patrick. It's you know, life is important, family is important, friends are important, and getting back and doing shows, I mean, don't get me wrong, was definitely a fun thing. I mean, the first show I did was a Christmas show in Sacramento. Tesla did the Strawberry Festival down here in Tampa, and it was a huge crowd, and it was great to see everybody in the audience singing and forgetting about their troubles for that 90 minutes. And, you know, Tesla has a well-oiled machine. We have a great road crew. Our sound man has been with us for 20 years, and he's almost like a sixth member of the band. So every night when Tesla plays, our sound is dialed in, man. And our crew is it's like a team. You know, like a football team where we're all passing the ball to each other. So it's a lot of fun to be back on stage with such a great organization and a great team of people, not just the Tesla band, but the crew, and experiencing that camaraderie again.
Yeah, very important. We kind of overlook the shadow. We go to the show, but there's a lot done before the show, and obviously a lot done after the show. And I know Styx, Todd Zuckerman just lost his drum tech after 20 years.
Yeah,
Paulie, I
Paulie,
mean,
man,
yeah,
Paulie.
it's like, man,
We lost him, and he was a great guy. He used to be a roadie for Bebop Deluxe, which is one of my favorite bands from the 70s. And whenever I would walk into the shows, I'd talk to Paulie about Bebop Deluxe, and yeah, gonna miss him. Jimmy Johnson was Styx's guitar
yeah,
tech.
Jimmy Johnson, right?
He was my guitar tech for years. He was also Alex Lifeson's guitar tech from Rush. What a sweetheart guy. You know, he invented the polishing cloth for guitars. I can't think of the name of it right at the moment. But anyway, great guy. We lost him. Joe Zaleski, one of our guitar techs, he just passed away last week. Rick Atkinson died in the hospital from complications, they say, for COVID. And one of our photographers, Steve Herda, he just passed away. I'm dropping all their names because I want them to have a little bit of honor and recognition. You know, these friends of ours that we've lost. You know, we have like I said, we have a great crew that's been with us for years. We have a truck driver, Larry, man, who has our equipment in his truck full time. It stays loaded in his truck, and he's in Omaha, Nebraska. And whenever we play a show, he'll drive from Omaha and meet us at the gig with our
Wow.
equipment. And he's been doing that for years. And this guy doesn't need to do that. He does it because he loves Tesla and he loves the job of doing that, you know? So
Very
we're very
cool.
blessed to have a family of a road crew that like guys like Larry and Steve. And now we got a new guy, Chopper. He's our monitor guy, man, who used to work for Van Halen, you know, and
Nice.
you know, so it's really cool, man.
Well,
Marco's been with us forever. Now I'm feeling like I need to name drop my whole crew. Mike, my guitar tech, Brittany, our wardrobe gal. We couldn't do it without them, you know. We
yeah,
got Meathead, the bass tech, Pete, the drum tech.
we
It's
take
great.
it for granted as fans, man. We're there to see you guys, but without those guys, there's no show at all. And
Hey, and
fans,
without guys like you keeping the rock and roll spirit alive on the radio, man. Thank you, Patrick. I don't take you for
absolutely.
granted at all, buddy.
No, I know that, Mud. I know that, Frank. And everybody can go to TeslaTheBand.com to check out the dates. They're getting back on May 5th in Waterloo, New York, not far from Brian's Auburn place. But hopefully I can see you down on the 7th in Penn's Peak. I got to ask you, I know you haven't done too much of the Far Out podcast. That's kind of slowed up. And I got to ask you, how you making out with the youngsters out there, the Red Voodoos of the world, and the JT Luxes? Them guys, I'm so happy for those guys, and they got to be so honored to be blessed to have someone like you to help them get as far as they have so far, and they are definitely heading in the right direction. Talk to me about them, Frank.
Okay, well, yeah, I was going crazy, trying all kinds of different things. I've always loved to record and produce recordings, and the podcast was a lot of fun. I did like 22 episodes of that. And then I started producing JT Lux and Red Voodoo and Austin Moe. And I finally figured out that there's only so much time in the day.
No,
You
I
know what I
hear you.
mean? In the studio. So I had to stop doing the podcast because I was putting a lot of production time into. If you listen to my podcast, I was adding some sound effects and some different things to it that, you know, I was being very particular about the production. And I wanted to spend that time working on the bands. So I stopped doing the podcast and started doing producing Red Voodoo. And Red Voodoo is a fun band, and I was a stepping stone for them to get them on the Monsters of Rock cruise, and hooked up with Sammy Hagar, and they've been doing a lot of great things, and I'm happy for them. They are doing their own thing now, which is great. Like I said, I was a stepping stone for them to launch and do what they're going to do. JT Lux is the artist I'm still working with. I'm very proud of JT. He's moving to Nashville as we speak right now. He's probably driving through Alabama in his car, or maybe Oklahoma. I got to give him a call and find out where he is. But he is relocating with his band to Nashville to showcase for labels there. And great artist, great songwriter.
And he's got Zach and Ethan, right? And I know the album was like Taken by Moonlight. I played, and I also
Yes,
had Waited So Long on my rotation for a while too.
yeah, and we just finished a batch of new recordings of 3 new songs that he's taken with him to Nashville. And man, I'm just very proud of his originality and his character as a guy. He's very hardworking and loyal, and just a phenomenal artist. He's got new songs, excuse me, that he is taking to Nashville. And Zach is a killer drummer. He's got a power trio, Zach and Ethan on bass, and JT sings. And I'm really proud of him, man. He's taking a chance. You know, 22 years old. Imagine being 21, 22 years old and jumping in a car and relocating and moving yourself to Nashville to try to jump into the big pond there and make a wave.
Good for him. But you know what, Frank, you know, you got to take the risk and we got to fall down a few times. And it's always the recovery. And we learn from taking that risk and failure. People slammed a lot of doors in my face and I just laughed because I'm just a stubborn asshole and very persistent. And I'm going to do it the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to fight. And look, everybody's can play the hits, but nobody is doing what I'm doing. And that's what puts the big smile on my face. And that's why I can
Yeah.
talk to guys like you that support me as well. And I love JT. I've had him on the show a couple of times. And the minute you release something, please send it my way so we can throw it on our rotation. You know, I was thinking of you today. What was the album there? From One Place to Another, volume 1 and 2. I know I sent you a bunch of tracks, emailed you, and I was listening to, well, my favorite was Kiss from a Rose that you did with Steel. And I know I sent you actually sent me the track of, what was it? Gary Wright, Love is
Gary
Alive.
Wright, yeah,
And
yeah.
today I was listening to, what was it? Oh my God, I wrote it down too. Love is Like a Rock, Donnie Iris. I'm thinking of
That's a great one. Yeah.
Frank Hannon doing a little Donnie Iris or a little what is it? Life is a Highway by Tom Cruise.
Yeah, those are great songs, man. Those are great
I'm
songs.
always thinking of you, brother. I gotta email you another list in case you slow down a little too much and get bored. You can throw down another place, volume 3, but.
Volume 3. You know, I listened to those records the other day. My wife and I were driving to a ranch, and we were listening to my covers albums, and yeah, man, I actually put a lot of effort into those. You know, Under the Milky Way, Blue Sky with my brother-in-law Dwayne Betts.
Yeah.
And you know, because not only did I record those songs, but I recorded them with my friends, the Nelson Twins, Ron Keel's on a track. We did Joy to the World. You know, I put it all together.
Randy Hansen, right? Randy Hansen on Hush. On Hush, that was a kick-ass song.
Thank you, man. Jared James Nichols. I went crazy there for a while, man. I am slowing down, Patrick. I'm showing you these white hairs here. You know, I go crazy creating stuff. I'm spending more time with my family. Right now, I'm in Florida with my father-in-law, Dickie Betts, who, by the way, what you were just saying is that's the spirit. You know, Dickie told me a long time ago, you know, like Muhammad Ali or I think it might have been Joe Louis. He was telling me about a boxer that had a quote that when you get knocked down, you got to get back up and just start swinging again and keep on swinging. And, you know, Dickie's a fighter, man. He's hanging in there, and we're here visiting him. And, you know, how many times did the Allman Brothers go through so many ups and downs in their career, you know, starting with the death of Dwayne Allman and Barry Oakley and surviving the disco era. And, you know, it's like, that's my advice to these young guys is you just got to keep on doing it and write songs and just, you know, don't give up.
No, I remember talking to Dino of Red Voodoo, and I said, what's the best advice Frank has given you? And he says, it's about the songs. It's about the products. You got to work for it. If you don't have the product, nobody's going to listen. So yeah, no, great advice. And you can't give up. I always tell my kids are in their 30s, how bad do you want it? That's what I say. How bad do you want it? It's there for the taking. You just got to keep pushing and keep fighting, and it'll happen. You know, people, Frank, musicians, I go to Daryl's house in my backyard, Daryl Hall's venue, and introduce bands. And I see old timers coming up in vans every day, driving from Georgia and playing their songs. They do it for the love of it. The money comes, all that other crap comes after them. But if you do what you love doing, like I do and like you do, who has it better than us, Frank, right?
That's right, man. That's right. And it takes a lot of tenacity, a lot of stick-to-itiveness, and a lot of thick skin, and a lot of teamwork. The songwriting skill, that's a whole nother skill that, you know, you have to develop as a singer songwriter. But whether you're a songwriter or a singer or a roadie, or if you're an athlete or whatever you are in this world, you know, you have to have tenacity and drive. I think our drive came from Brian Wheat and myself. Grew up in South Sacramento, which is pretty low income ghetto growing up type of environment, man. And I learned really young when I was pushing a lawnmower at 12 years old that if I got 5 lawns mowed in an hour, I would have $30 in my pocket. You know what I mean? So, and it required a lot of pushing, man. I had to push that lawnmower through that neighborhood. And I applied that same thing to guitar, man. I know that when I show up for a gig, I got to be ready to rock. And it's the same thing, you know. So
Hey,
that's the way life is, man. Whether you're an athlete or, you know, like, you know, I wanted the Bengals to win the Super Bowl, man. You know, I'm a big Joe Burrow fan, but you know what? That guy's got to pay his dues a little bit more. He's got to, you know, I don't think it's his time yet. He's got to keep working at it. As gifted as he is, he's got to keep working hard, and he's going to win a Super Bowl someday. I know it.
I totally agree with you, Frank. I was rooting for him too, but I said the same thing. Down the road, he's got the talent. It's just a matter of time. And if you're a guitar player and you don't follow Frank Hannon on Instagram, you don't know what you're missing on Happy Gib Sunday. This guy gives the best guitar. I should grab a guitar and just follow you, Frank. I'm not a musician and I should be, but my goodness, thank you for doing what you do for all those folks that are out there, man. You don't take it for granted every time you put that video on and you show how to play this song or that song, because there are people watching. I love the story. Your wife got you the what was it?
The gold top Les Paul.
Yeah, the gold top Les Paul 57. I want to say.
Yeah.
No, I people are watching your videos, brother. I can tell you that.
Well, the videos I'm proud of that I do on the guitar lesson thing, and again, it's with anything, it just comes down to the simplest terms. The lessons that I give where I teach the simple techniques of strumming and rhythm, you know, something as simple as tapping your foot while you're playing is so important. So, you know, maybe I might change the video series to Frank's simple and stupid lessons. Simple is best, you know.
There you go.
But I want to say something last to wrap up this whole subject that we're talking about. Rest is really important, and getting some rest. And I'm finally starting to figure that out. I took a nap today, and balancing your friends and family and your life with your work and finding balance and getting rest is also equally as important as swinging and fighting for your career. So I'm figuring that out. I'm slowing down just a little bit, Patrick.
Hey, amen to that. Family, friends, love, God. All we have is our health, brother. And we're losing a lot of folks left and right. So I hear you every day. And I know what you talk about with the podcast. When you want to do something, you want to do it right. And it's time consuming. And people don't get it. I do this with you. And everybody's like, so when are you going to put it out? I want to do it the right way. I want to make sure it's perfect. So I'm anal that way, but I want to do it right. And it takes time to make sure you do it right. Brother, well, I can't. Go ahead.
Someone told me a long time ago, good words of advice. If you got more than 5 things, you got only 5 fingers. So if you got more than 5 things that you're doing at once, something's going to suffer. So I've been trying to cut back on the things that I'm doing, and definitely on these 5 fingers, trying to make my family number one.
Absolutely. No doubt. Brother, I can't
Tesla's the thumb. There's my thumb. That's Tesla. There's my family. And
Patrick is now number 3. Right?
The rest of it, yeah.
The horses.
The rest of it has to fall into place. Patrick, my doggy, he's over here sleeping. Come here, bud. Come on. Come here. You want to say goodbye to Patrick on Patrick's show? Patrick Soundbytes. Hold on one second.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
What a good guy.
There he is.
There he is.
It sounds like a new song coming up there, Frank. We got to do a song about Patrick.
Our song, What You Give by Tesla, you know, who's the one that makes you happy? That was the song that JK wrote about his dog.
There you go.
People don't know that.
My brother Frank.
Dogs give you unconditional love, man. If you give them patience and unconditional love. I've had to be really patient with this guy. And look, man, he's just coming around.
Hey,
So,
let me tell you, Frank, there's no such thing as a coincidence, and that dog knew where to go to find unconditional love. Things happen for a reason, and I'm happy Patrick found you. Brother, I can't thank you enough for your time. Cold Blue Steel, go check it out. You got to hear it rock on my show. Thank you for putting the clean version on, but I still like to, this is full of bullshit. I have no
Yeah, the new mix is not only got the little edit there, but it also has the guitars cranked up a lot louder and crank it up, man. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Let's do this again soon. Keep me in mind with JT Lutz as well, my man. And I hope to see you on May the 7th in Pennsylvania. Go to TeslaTheBand.com. TeslaTheBand.com for all their dates. Frank, thank you so much, brother.
Heavy metal hippie.
There he is. The only one, heavy metal hippie. We got to get some more brew, Frank. I know they drank it all in the Monsters of Cruise, but you got to do a Squid Brew TV or a Patrick Brew TV.
We'll get working on that.
Only the best right here. It doesn't get any better than this, Mr. Frank Hannon on the Pat Soundbytes Unplugged podcast. Yeah.
Bye, y'all.